Today is a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the bees are flying about, and it's also an exciting day. An exciting day because some brand new software came out. Literally today, the hour this video goes live. And this allows me to create wavetables for this, an analog synth, which arrived yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. Not only that, I can also import wavetables. So I could take, say, this massive wavetable, import this into the wavetable editor, and then load that onto the peak, with some limitations I'll come on to soon. But think about that. I can now put modern wavetables on an analog synth. I can use wavetables that evolve harmonically in a modern and current way, but then manipulate them and process them with analog circuitry, analog filters, analog VCAs, analog distortion, and so on. So you can create modern sounds, but with this analog edge. It's why I got the thing. Now, there are some limitations, but before that, creating wavetables, the idea that I can create wavetables for this analog synth. I can either use the Wavetable editor, or Serum, or Phase Plant, or Node to create wavetables. Each of these creating types of curves, types of cycles, types of wavetables. Can't in the others. More about the specific differences in another video though, because that's a whole rabbit hole in and of itself. And so what about the limitations? What can't we do? Well, first I must say, I have had this less than a day, and the software I'm using is the beta version, so you never know, things might change a bit. And I've got more analysis to do, so I won't go into too much hardcore detail, just an overview. Basically, when you import a wavetable, it converts this to 5 cycles. I say it again, it's very important. When you import a wavetable, it converts this to 5 cycles. In Serum, for example, you might have up to 256 cycles. So when you import, therefore, you might lose some information and lose some of the cycles. And then on the synth itself, it crossfades between these cycles. So as you move through the wavetable position, in this case with shape and mount, moving through the wavetable, you're moving from cycle to cycle, interpolating with a crossfade algorithm, it appears. Not continuously, I don't think, but discretely with 128 values. Now, I must check this in more detail and check with the developers, but what this means, I think, therefore, is it takes these 5 cycles in the wavetable editor and creates a 128 cycle wavetable from it, which most of the time is fine. Not all the time, but most of the time. And the same, of course, if you create the wavetable from scratch and just draw in the cycles. Drawing in the 5 cycles, it then creates this 128 cycle wavetable, crossfading between the cycles, I think. And whilst this isn't perfect, it'd be great, for example, if you could import the entire Serum wavetable, each of the 256 cycles. Whilst this isn't perfect, it's still properly amazing when you think about it. I can now create my own oscillators, my own wavetables for an analog synth, feed them static cycles or wavetables I modulate through, then getting all the benefits of analog from the analog filters, the analog circuitry, the analog distortion, and that hands-on tactile analog feel. There's also things like drift and divergence, again, adding to the analoginess. So I could, for example, take modern talking, that classic dubstep sound, turn it into a wavetable and load it onto the peak. Not perfectly remember, I think modern talking had 6 cycles in it, whereas this converts to 5, so you lose a cycle. But anyway, it's most of the way there, as you heard. Modern talking on such a refined analog synth, it's like the Queen breakdancing or punching someone in the face. It's worth noting that lots of wavetables don't even use all 256 cycles. For example, most of the original massive wavetables use just between 3 and 6 or 7, I think it was. Once again, I'm using beta software here. Hopefully this changes, but currently you can only import wavetables individually. It'd be quite nice, for example, if you could batch import. And it looks like anyway, at least currently, again, you can only import up to 10 user wavetables at a time. It'd be nice if you could import hundreds or even thousands. Look at how many wavetables I have. Maybe there's a creative way I could use the preset storing system. Anyway, more analysis required. I also want to spend more time looking at the different wavetable editors, working out the best export options for each of them, for use on the peak anyway. It's exciting though. I dropped my telephone on the floor. Crash, bang. It's exciting though. I mean, I don't want to look like I'm putting too much of a negative spin on this, but the limitations are important to point out. This is honestly the most exciting thing I've seen in, I'm trying to work it out, at least 6 months, maybe even a year. It's just such a big concept for me. The idea that I can create and import almost any wavetable onto this analog synth, allow me to work with sounds that evolve harmonically in a modern way, but manipulating and processing them and working with them in this analog way. It's a special thing. That's why I did this video now. So, I mean, as I've said it a few times now, I have only had this less than 24 hours. Much more analysis required. I also need to learn the thing. That's why I haven't shown you any of the sounds, because I figured it's best to learn the thing before demonstrating. And it takes time to make all the different patches. And I need to see if there's a difference between the beta software and the final version. Also coming up will be a more formal review of this thing, why I chose specifically this, and the various different ways you can connect and use the thing, and a video explaining audibly and visually what this analog sound is that everyone seems to like. It's difficult to show properly, but I have an idea. And a Serum tutorial in 2, maybe 3 days. A big one. It's taken quite a long time to make, but it's a special one. Marvelous. See you in the next one.